Let's turn now to this morning's coronavirus headlines.
All right, Steph, at 6:37, here are three things you know about today and counting down, starting with number 3. The CDC says both Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines are safe for pregnant women. The American Society for Reproductive Medicine also encouraged all pregnant women to get the vaccine. All right, let's get to number 2 here, and it has never been easier to get your shot. That's according to the White House vaccination coordinator. In Texas, about 46% of adults have at least one dose. And now to number 1 here. President Biden wants companies to give employees paid time off, PTO, to get the vaccine. And he's willing to give employers a tax credit to make it actually happen. And even with vaccinations on the rise, coronavirus, Steph, still a major concern.
Yeah, Xavier, one local sheriff's deputy is counting his blessings after his battle with COVID-19. He nearly lost his battle with the virus, but now he's back on his feet again and thankful for his recovery.
A Fort Bend County Sheriff's detective is waking up in his own bed this morning after nearly 2 months. 61-year-old Kevin White walked out of rehab on his own after catching COVID in February. He'd been given just a 30% chance of survival. When he arrived, he could only move one finger. He thanked doctors, therapists, family, and fellow deputies.
They're my brothers and sisters.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
There's still a lot of questions into what happened after a Tesla crashed into a tree Saturday night, killing 2 people in the Woodlands.
The victims have been identified as Dr. William Varner, a 59-year-old anesthesiologist, and 69-year-old Everett Talbot. The NTSB says it could release preliminary findings in about 30 days, but a full report will take much longer. Another victim recovered off the coast of Louisiana after a lift boat capsized last week. The 6th victim has been identified as 31-year-old Quinnen Petrie. The Seacor power overturned during stormy weather south of Port Fourchon. 6 of the 19 people on board were rescued.